You know
So,
what? Every Warriors fan should see this list because when
mhm.
you're here complaining about how we don't have the talent, whatever, yeah, Joe Link was like, I'm not gonna spend another 300 plus $1 million to not have a chance of winning a chip. If I know I'm gonna win a chip, I'll do it. But I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
if
blow $300 million for nothing.
so let's start with basketball, I guess. The NBA Finals. We got the Knicks going full Knicks, and Tyrese Halliburton is the newest Indiana boogeyman for New York Knicks fans. So Indiana ends up getting the win in that series. Is 4 games to 2,
Vince, I'm
and
gonna say the choke was worth it. It's
the
now
choke was worth.
worth it.
Absolutely. Uh, On the other side of the bracket, OKC takes care of Minnesota 4 games to 1, a gentleman's sweep over there. Not
Well,
really
I
a
mean,
surprise.
it's hard when you're going against 8 against 5, when you have the refs helping you out every single game.
I'm
Pretty
not
much.
going to comment. I'm opting out of commenting on that particular part of it.
Oh,
But yeah,
Shea gets all the calls. Curry
he
gets none.
does. He absolutely, yeah, he gets a lot of calls. Steph, I do know that Steph gets nowhere near the amount of calls a superstar should get. I think,
Well,
but
what was it? We said it, right? In
yeah,
2 games against Minnesota, Shea had the same amount of foul calls as Curry's had his entire playoff careers.
it's wild, man.
Insane.
Yeah, bonkers. So with that said, we have the NBA Finals are set. It will be the Thunder as the top seed hosting the first 2 games against the Pacers. Those games are going to be Thursday and Sunday, and then Game 3 will be next Wednesday. Game 4 will be next Friday, the 13th, and then it'll be if necessary following that. And they got it pretty well stretched out. Like every game is about 3 days apart. It looks like, except for game between games 3 and 4 is only 2 days, like the 11th to the 13th. But then you're going 16, 19, 22. Yeah, so they get night to rest up between each game. So there should be no excuses, right? So my question, I guess, on this matchup is who's gonna win and how many games is it gonna take, fellas? Let's get on the record here.
OKC in 5. As much as I want it to
Okay.
be Indiana, as much as I would love for it to be Indiana in this scenario, OKC in 5.
I think the NBA wants OKC. So I think OKC. I'll say 6.
Okay. I'm gonna say OKC in 5.5. No.
What are you,
Yeah.
Uh,
the Knicks fan, saying they will get them in the 8th game?
yeah, that's right. No. It ain't over yet. Nixon 8. Nixon 8. No. I think OKC also gets the job done. It's not going to be a sweep though. I will. I think Indiana does surprise in a couple of these games. I'm with Sam. I'm going to take Indiana in 6. Yeah. So, do
Don't
we
you
need
think
to add in?
with Halliburton and his
Mhm.
playoff run this season and his entire season this year, and he had a good year last year too. Is man, don't you think the Kings want to take that one back?
Maybe a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well,
Uh,
I
wasn't
mean, with that adage, I mean, the Warriors would love to redo that draft. You know what I mean? James Wiseman probably wasn't going to be your pick if you could get a crystal ball. You know what I mean?
right
Yeah.
for sure. That definitely. That being said, where was I going with this? There was Tyrese Halliburton. A couple months ago was rated the most overrated player in the league, and
You
I
mean
don't know. I think
motivated?
that woke him up more than anything. I think, especially coming into these playoffs.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I don't think he's winning that one next year. In that player poll.
I'm actually
So
kind of shocked he didn't win the conference finals MVP. Like, I don't think I really saw any highlights of. Now I'm drawing this blank. The guy that came from Toronto, but I don't think
Pascal
I really.
Siakam.
Yeah, I didn't really see him. I mean, maybe I didn't see it, but it seemed like Halliburton was kind of carrying the most of the weight there, in my opinion. But It's fine. It's whatever. I think Halliburton thought he was going to win it too. I think there was like videos showing that he thought he won the Eastern Conference MVP. But
I think the cameras were all trained on him, expecting it to be him, and then it wasn't. So
yeah, weird.
Did you guys see the interaction of Siakam with the reporter at the end of one of the games?
No, what was the action?
The reporter asked him something, and then it was just this really awkward exchange, and it was just hilarious.
There was oh my god, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna say his name wrong. The boxer Khabib. Does that sound right? That sound right to you guys? Khabib. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
So he came on. I mean, I know we're kind of jumping ships here a little bit, but he came on to a post game for a soccer match in England and shook hands with everyone. And then I guess his religion, he doesn't shake hands with women. And she tried to shake the woman host tried to shake his hand, and he was like, "Nah, can't do that." And I was like, "Wow, this is awkward." She did a good job of just keeping it pedaling there, but I was like, "Whoa."
okay. Yeah, let's move on. I don't want to say something bad, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, the
he's
80s
like,
is saying let's move on.
"Oh!"
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing to
Who's
this
up?
conversation. Okay, so well, one side note on the Warriors, and it's actually not even really Warriors; it's Warriors adjacent. R.I.P. to a real one. That's Rocco Thompson, Clay Thompson's dog, 13 years old. Go chase those the big puffy
A
animals
buddy of mine
guy
said,
or whatever.
"Do you remember the time when Clay Thompson was dating that Instagram model, and she broke up with him because she wanted him to stop hanging out with his dog so much?" And I was like, you know what? There's plenty of Instagram models in the sea, but there's only one
That's
Rocco.
that's right.
Yeah,
Goddamn right.
I got to meet Rocco a long time ago when he was a puppy, I would say,
Yeah.
or a year or two old. Berkeley Marina. See this ball come bouncing my way, and it was Rocco. So I see this bulldog running up and pick up the ball, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy!" So he comes walking right up to me. I'm scratching him on the head, and he runs off. I look up. Here comes Clay Thompson. Maybe with this Instagram model. I don't know. But he comes walking up, and this is before he's on the rookie deal, and he's getting ready to sign that first extension.
Yeah.
And so it's that summer he's getting ready to sign it. And I look up, there's Clay, and he's holding the tennis ball thrower, the stick.
Oh
Mhm.
He's
yeah,
holding
yeah.
that, and he's walking up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's Clay Thompson." And I'm walking with a friend of mine, and I don't want to like fan out in front of her, so, and I didn't want, like, he's with his some girl, so I didn't want to be like this weirdo that's like, "Hey, Clay," so all I all I did was do this. I'm like, "Hey," and then Clay Thompson looks at me, and he's holding the baton in one hand, and with his other hand he goes like, he just walks
Oh,
off.
I love
And then,
that.
my friend, she goes, "Who is that?" I'm like, "That's Clay Thompson. He's about to get paid. He's like a superstar. Like, the Warriors are gonna be something." This is before they won anything,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. He signed that first like contract extension like right before that first season, right? Of the
right. Yeah, so that was that's my, my Clay and, Rocco moment, so RIP. It's hard to put a pet say goodbye to a pet, so I definitely understand where he's coming from, and, you know, all the love to Rocco and his family.
All right. I want to play a game.
Okay.
So the name of this game is, well, I don't have a name for it yet, but here's what's happening. I have since the year 2012 the NBA tax bills and team performance. Okay, so like luxury tax bills and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's what we're talking here. Okay. Um, there are one, two, three, four, five, six teams that have not had a single year in the have not had to pay a single dollar in luxury tax fees, penalties, whatever. Can you name them by chance?
Had to pay a single dollar.
Not since 2012. Yeah, not $1. There's 6 of them
6 NBA teams who have not paid a dime
in luxury tax. Yeah.
in luxury taxes.
The
Mhm.
Hornets,
The Hornets is one of them. Yes.
the Magic,
The Magic, that is another one of them. Yes. That's 2.
Detroit,
Detroit is 3. Yes.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, that's 4. Yeah.
He Googled it, man.
You
No, no,
Googled it?
no, no. I remember reading about this one on Reddit, but I can't remember the last 2 teams.
Uh-huh.
Indiana was one of them.
Indiana, that's the one I'm looking for
Indiana was
specifically.
one
That's
of them.
5.
Yep. Yeah, that's 5. There's
Minnesota?
one more. No. They
Hold
paid.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I got one left to get this right.
Yeah, there's one left.
I'm trying to think bottom feeder teams, bottom feeder teams, bottom. Well, they weren't always bottom feeders. Didn't pay luxury tax because
OKC.
no,
No, they're
Sacramento.
Sacramento is correct. 6 for 6. Look at your boy go. All right, so the interesting thing, of
I don't know.
course,
I think
is
he had his Reddit article up.
I think so. No.
My phone's down over here, boys. There's nothing on here.
Called a laptop, my dude. Anyway, so in terms of winning percentage and like playoff wins, the Pacers are a huge outlier there. They have a 53.4% win percentage and they have 51 playoff wins. Atlanta is next on the list, 50.1% win percentage and 34 playoff wins. Every other team is single digits in the wins category, and Orlando is 39.4%, Sacramento 39.7, 40.8% for Charlotte, 38.9% for Detroit. So,
I
and
would
yeah,
say out of those 6 teams, I mean, the Kings have now become question marks, which is crazy because they were kind of a thorn in the side for the Warriors in the last past
for
2
a
couple
couple
seasons.
of years, yeah,
Yeah.
but they were terrible for a long time, and they weren't all that good this year either. Really, I mean,
Well,
when you
they
look back
blew
on it.
everything up, and I just it didn't really make
Mhm.
sense to me why they blew it up, but
They
Yeah,
got no plan.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I would say
Absolutely no
them
plan.
and the Hornets. You exclude those 2 teams, every other team that hasn't had to pay the luxury tax have done a really good job of building up their organization. Detroit's done an
Yeah,
excellent job.
yeah. Right
The
now, at
Magic,
least. Yeah,
yeah, they've done
totally.
a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, this is since 2012 also, so we're talking like 13 years
Yeah,
of data here. So it's not it's not a small sample size, you know. So obviously there are no championships among any of those teams. Uh, but but the fact that the Pacers are, that much of an outlier, they haven't spent a dime in luxury tax, but they're 53.4% wins and 51 playoff wins total. That's pretty impressive. Your leaders give you. I'll give you 2 guesses, but you're probably only going to need one. What team has spent the most in luxury tax?
has spent the most
Oh,
is
the
gonna be the
Warriors.
Warriors,
Yeah,
for
it's the
sure.
Warriors, absolutely. By a mile. They also have the highest winning percentage since 2012. So
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting. You paying your stars, right? It costs a lot of money, but they also have 4 titles, which is also number one in that entire reign. So in my mind and in Joe Laco's mind, worth every penny. Uh, that being said, number 2 in most luxury tax. Care to guess?
I have
LeBron
no
James.
No.
no, no, but the Lakers should be up there, but I don't think they are.
The
Um,
Lakers are 4th on the list. The
Clippers?
teams that are in 2 and 3 are kind of surprising.
The Clippers?
The Clippers are number 2. They are
Yeah, they spend a lot of money to not have anything.
exactly.
that's Balmer for you.
Yeah, the Warriors have over 748 million. The Clippers are 406, almost 407 million. The Lakers are in 4th at 273 million and change. Who's the team in 3rd?
Since
Mm.
2012?
since 2012. So there's going to be, a couple of iterations of the team spending up.
Well, if the Lakers are 4th and the
Uh
Clippers
huh.
are 2nd, the Warriors
Yep.
obviously being 1st.
Hmm.
Trying to think of like teams that wanted to build a whole entire super team roster since 2012.
Yeah.
It's either going to be two things.
Houston.
It's either going to be Houston or it's going to be Brooklyn because Brooklyn spent so much money
It's
on
Brooklyn.
Philly. Yeah.
349 million, almost 350.
It's
But
it's
that
it's
was like
paying
the year and a half with Kevin Durant
and
Yeah.
and
Harden
that whole mess.
Yeah.
and Ben
That
Simmons and
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess one call
Forgot
out
about
is
Ben
the
Simmons.
Heat, kind of middle of the pack, 74 million and change. They got two championships in the middle of that. Everybody else that's not the Warriors or the Heat that have won a title, it's just one title. You got the Spurs in 2014, and that wasn't even the year that they had the highest luxury tax. That was 2012 for them. Uh,
Wow.
Toronto in 2019, that's when they got their chip. Um, yeah, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Bucks. Yeah, those are your. Oh, and Denver also. I mean, yeah. It's just kind of funny to look at that. So that's your fun game. The Warriors obviously by almost doubled up the Clippers, who are number two on that list, and then the Pacers not spending a dime, still finding some success. That being said,
What's
the
what's the
Warriors have
disparity
the highest.
between
Oh,
yeah, what's the
what's up?
disparity between the Clippers and the Warriors, like, spending-wise?
Um,
It's gotta be big, right? Because the
so
Warriors
it's 748 for the Warriors, million, and then it's 407 for the Clippers
in millions.
in millions. Um, that being said, win percentage, regular season win percentage, the Warriors are number one over that time frame. The Clippers are number two at 60%.
You know
So
what? Every Warriors fan should see this list because when
mhm,
you're here complaining about how we don't have the talent, whatever, yeah, Joe Link was like, "I'm not gonna spend another 300 plus $1,000,000 to not have a chance of winning a chip. If I know I'm gonna win a chip, I'll do it, but I'm not
yeah,
gonna
if
blow $300 million for nothing."
that's right. Yeah. The highest tax year for the Warriors was 2022, which was our fourth chip. So that's good to know. All right, so that's my game. I think anytime we have a game, let's just throw this image out there because I kind of enjoyed doing that. It's kind of fun,
I did see
fun
this
for
thing
me.
on Reddit the other day, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
So glad I can
yeah,
remember that, right?
right. Yeah, that was pretty good. Good pull there. So let's switch gears to the Valkyries. They had a tough week. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. On Tuesday, they went to New York to play the defending champion Liberty, and they got smoked 95 to 67. Then they played the Liberty again in New York on Thursday.
This one was BS.
This
Stewie
one was
got
a
all the
lot
call.
closer. They were
Stewie got
actually,
all the calls. There was
yes.
literally a possession where Stewie got like 4 calls in a row. This bull.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, championship team. Doesn't surprise me that the calls went their way sometimes. They end up losing by 5, 82 to 77. They actually had, a 1 point lead a couple of different times in the final like 3 minutes. But the New York Liberty were able to, put that championship DNA
To make or
to
miss league,
use,
man.
and they handled business and were able to get the win there. And then on Sunday, the Valkyries come home. They host the Minnesota Lynx, who have won recently, and they were in the title game last year. They lose 86 to 75. The Valkyries were actually up at halftime.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the fourth quarter, a little bit of the third quarter, but especially the fourth quarter, the Minnesota Lynx just put it on them. And Nafisa Collier is a superstar and took care of business by the end of the game. And it was kind of a laugher at the end. At one point, like that fourth quarter, they were down more than 20 at one point. I think it was like 21 points. And the Valkyries, to their credit, were able to close the door a little bit and get it a little bit more respectable looking. Like I said, they were up at halftime, and then that third quarter, it just all went to hell. And the fourth quarter, like toward the end, they closed it a little bit, but it was not great. Kate Martin actually in that Sunday night game did set a career high in points. She went nuclear a little bit in that second quarter. It was She came onto the floor, I think, at 6 minutes and like 15 points. It was pretty wild, and she was attacking, getting to the cup, and she was making it rain threes as well. So shooting
What?
some free
Why is she
throws,
still
and
coming
yeah,
off the bench though? Like,
she's because that's the caliber of player she is. She's a bench caliber player. She's a an energy player off the bench. That's where her skill level is right now in the league. That's we because we know her name. We already coming into the league. I think we have a higher expectation of where we think she should be. But to be fair, she's coming off of the bench because other players are better than her, and she comes in with the energy off of the bench. Her and Julie Van Loo running that second unit are
Well,
they're playing together pretty good, actually. I think they're probably a middle of the pack team right now. The record indicates otherwise. I think their record is they're 2-4 right now. They're currently fifth in the Western Conference, but I mean, you just played your last three games against the two teams that were in the WNBA finals last year.
yeah.
So that was a tough ask. That was going to be a tough way to go. The upcoming week, you have the Phoenix Mercury and the Las Vegas Aces. So
well, to piggyback there, Julie Van Loo and Julia Almond are going to be playing the Belgian Cats to defend their European title. So they're going to be gone for a while. So
they're they're
that's
yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's going to be a little rough when Eurobasket starts up. A couple of players who were eligible for Eurobasket are not going to be going. So but some of them are. So you're going to be losing a couple of players. I think Carla Late is going to be staying, and she's been another rookie that's been coming off of the bench and has been kind of dynamite. I think she was like rookie of the week according to the Athletic, at least. That She was their rookie of the week, not this past week, but the week before when the Valkyries won a couple of games. So just more names to look out for. Somebody challenging Paige Beckers for rookie of the year, and it's not the French player they thought it would be, but you know, could be fun. Yeah, so that being said, like I said, you got the Phoenix Mercury on Thursday, you got the Las Vegas Aces on Saturday. That's a noon tip off as well. That's a day game. So that'll be fun. Get your pop a couple of nooners and watch the Valkyries, I guess,
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I saw some about the Las Vegas Aces. I guess I don't know who it was, but basically was calling out fans because of all the assumptions and things that they're blatantly saying against these WNBA players lately as a fan base. Just enjoy the game, man. Like you don't have to, as a fan, go to a game and start spreading rumors and allegations on the court, man, for these players. Just enjoy the fact that these women are playing basketball at a high level that you know you get to be a fan of. I'm tired of
Right.
fans thinking that they just because you spend the money that you have the obligation to feel like you can say whatever you want. Get out of here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, some of
there's
these
always a
women are
line.
so athletic, they probably beat that ass on some of these
Yeah.
dudes. Like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Every single one of these women actually probably will beat the hell out of anybody that in a fight. Like they're professional athletes at a very high level. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I would bet money on the athlete 10 times out of 10 as opposed to the schmuck in the stands. Uh, uh, that being said, yeah, so gonna be a little bit of a tough week. Upcoming, like I said, the upcoming schedule. You look at the Phoenix Mercury; they're currently second. They're 5-2 right now, and then the Aces are in third in the Western Conference. They're 4-2. So it doesn't get any easier for the Valkyries, but hopefully you can get one or both of these wins and feel good about heading into the following weeks, and then heading into Eurobasket as well, coming up in a couple of weeks as well, before you lose those players. Um, yeah. Just also a side note in the W, Caitlin Clark is out for a little while. Still, she has an injury, and uh, people are being weird about it. There's plenty of other stars in the league to watch. Yeah, Caitlin Clark brought a lot of people into the league to watch, but should have noticed by now that there's plenty of other players.
See you,
Later,
Vince.
Vince.
See ya.
Don't be.
WNBA said, "Excuse me."
I'm there.
Uh,
Are we back?
I think Vince was talking bad about the WNBA, and they
The
just put a
commissioner
I
hit
was
out
said,
on
talking
them.
bad
"Pull the
about the
plug."
fans. I was talking bad about the about some of the fans who were like
He gone.
only like yeah some like some conservative hacker was really pissed off at me for coming up their road. That's what it was. Anyway, okay, so there's plenty of other players in the league to take a look at it and enjoy the game. And
But what are they
I'm
getting
sure
mad
you've noticed
about?
by
What are
now
they
there's
so that she's
quality.
not playing? That's it.
They're not playing, so they're like, oh, there's no reason to watch. Or some people are being especially gross about like race and stuff like that too. So
Ah,
coming
I
up,
mean, I'll be honest with you. The Chicago Sky has done a lot better, but that one game with Angel Reese just ball hogging and trying to build her stats to the rebound, that was rough to watch. I was like, dude, I would have sent a letter down, been like,
yeah.
we were trying to build a product. This is not the product.
I
I
don't know,
didn't see
man.
the
Yeah,
game, so I,
I
I,
would just
I didn't see it.
I didn't see I don't watch the Chicago Sky games unless they're unless they
Oh
happen to be like
man, I'll send you guys a video. She is getting blocked and hounded. She's playing 1 against 5, and all of her teammates are just hanging out at the 3-point line. And then
yeah.
she
I
Nice.
eventually
mean,
throws it out
Angel
after
Reese
like
is
her
doing.
sixth attempt.
She somebody's got to score a bucket for him. So I get it. Whatever. Anyway, so show a little class for those of you that are not being classy.